Cubs are the hottest team in baseball. They score 14 runs every day, and things are getting interesting, folks.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you. On all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making us your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. Today's episode is presented by FanDuel, now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Reminder of our pregame hangout. We just announced this on Friday. Sam and I are going to be live from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. this Saturday at Almost Home in Wrigleyville. We're a pregame hangout. Hope to see a lot of our listeners and viewers there. Almost Home in Wrigleyville, 3801 North Clark Street in Chicago. Excited to do our first live event in Wrigleyville. Very excited for that. We'll give more details throughout the week. 3 weeks ago today, Sam and I said things were getting interesting for the Cubs as they entered a 3-game series at the Guardians, only 3 games out of a playoff spot. They proceeded to then get swept, but we laid out the opportunities still ahead of them, considering this so-called 18-game soft stretch they were about to begin. Well, since then, they have gone 12-3, and I have even more information to support this next claim. Sam, the Cubs are the hottest team in baseball.
Hope everyone's enjoying a lovely Labor Day weekend. And I just want to go on a quick monologue here. I want to make 2 points before we get into the nuts and bolts of this series and the guys who performed and things that are good. I want to go over 2 things. Number one, I am proud of this team. This sweep, if you look at the box score, if you look at the line score and you don't watch the games, you go, man, the Cubs just exploded offensively, and they did a lot of front running. These last 5 wins were all comeback wins. They were trailing in all 5 of those games. They showed some character. They showed some grit. They showed fight. They had a 10-3 deficit to come back and win to sweep Pittsburgh. This Nationals team, they just took 2 out of 3 against the New York Yankees. And to have back-to-back sweeps on the road is such a challenging thing to do. Their offense is red hot. I'm proud of them, and they deserve credit for getting themselves basically now. Unfortunately, the standings aren't what we thought they would be with other teams, but the record right now is just about where we thought it would be at this time of year. The path to getting there, of course, has questions and issues, and those questions and issues will remain if this team doesn't make the postseason. But you have, if you come on the show every day like I do when they play poorly and you get angry, you have to give them their credit, and they deserve it. That's number one. Number 2 is this, and this is directly towards the Cubs players who probably aren't watching this show, and Mr. Council. The last time, as you beautifully put in the beginning of this show, Matt, things got interesting. We walked into Cleveland. 3 games out, and we got swept. The Chicago Cubs now have our attention. Regardless of what happens tonight in Philadelphia, they have our attention. They are live and well. If the Braves lose tonight, you will go into Labor Day just 3 games back of a playoff spot. Really 3.5. But that you are in it. And nobody is expecting you to play the way that you just played, because that's basically impossible. But now that the eyes are on you, now that the lights are on, go take care of business this week. I'm not saying you got to go 5-1, win back-to-back series. Matt, I know we're going to preview the Pirates series at the end. I just want to make this point because it finishes this out. I personally believe when you go back to mid-May and the Pirates came to Wrigley Field, that was the beginning of a really, really big downturn for this team. If you remember, they lost that Thursday night game. Skeens dominated Friday. They had that weird 1-0 win that felt more of an escape than a win on Saturday with Christopher Morel's walk-off base hit. I was at the game Sunday. They didn't do anything. And then what happened after that? 2 out of 3 to the Braves. 2 in St. Louis, you lose. 3 out of 4 Milwaukee. 2 out of 3 Cincinnati. That you could almost bookmark that was the start of it. Go finish the job now and let everybody know you're back, because I'm proud of this team.
Wow. Well, it has been a lot of fun. I've tried to enjoy the wins as much as I can. And this part of the schedule, they were supposed to make hay no matter what happened before this.
Yeah.
Especially what did happen before this. And they have proven to be successful at that. 2 straight sweeps, 9 out of their last 10. Last 6 games, they've scored 67 runs. Last 10 games, they've scored almost 100 runs. They finished August on Saturday at 18-8, which this was not on my radar at all. Shout out to The Athletic. Their winningest month since May of 2021.
Oh, wow.
Since Independence Day, they're 32-18, which is the second best record in baseball during that span, only to the Diamondbacks, who, interestingly enough, are on a little bit of a slide just this last week.
So are the Padres.
And so are the Padres. And I know the Mets are still in the middle of the Braves-Cubs sandwich, but if the Braves lose tonight, the Cubs will again be 3 games out, as you said. The Braves have kind of a shrug your shoulders schedule left. I think it's pretty easy, actually.
It's easy.
Sorry for the bad news.
Rockies.
The Mets, though, have a hard schedule.
Yeah, well, I'm not
Red Sox, Phillies for 6, Braves, Brewers all on there. But the Cubs just got to keep doing what they're doing, and who knows what will happen. Like you said, the National Series, you had a blowout and 2 close wins, one that didn't really have to be, and one that was a nice comeback from the early deficit Saturday.
But they trailed in all 3, and a lot of times this year when they trail, especially 2-0 in the 5th, you kind of just
it felt insurmountable.
Yeah, let's just get out of here. You know what I mean? Let's start the party early. Let's go get a sandwich at 4 instead of 6. Let's do the early bird special.
Right.
Can I make one interesting point?
Yeah.
That probably isn't interesting to anyone but me. When you look at this stretch now, what did you say the Cubs are? What are they, 9-3 now in this? No.
12-3.
12-3 in this stretch. The 3 games they lost during this stretch, they lost in Miami to close out a sweep, where they didn't hit much, whatever. They lost the game against Detroit, which Detroit's a pretty decent team. Sweeping them was going to be challenging. And then we all talked about that missed opportunity. I just want to make a point of just how great the offense has been. When they got swept that game against the Blue Jays, they faced a guy that we thought was a guy they should get to. He's the hottest pitcher in baseball right now. Like, that wasn't, in hindsight, that isn't a bad loss. I'd just like to reach a Francis's number.
That was the series finale against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, remember they lost 1-0.
Yep.
He set 7 innings, 1 earned, 8 Ks, 7 shutout against the Cubs, 8 innings, flirt with a no-hitter, 1 run, 12 Ks, 7 shutout, 5 Ks. That guy's been the hottest. This offense right now is at a level that we have actually never seen before. Am I wrong? How many times, forget double digits, how many times did they score 14 plus this week? 3?
3.
Now,
2 touchdowns.
I totally understand the people that are rolling their eyes a bit, that are going to go, great, so now we're going to see everybody back. And that's something that Jed has to figure out, because no matter what happens the rest of this year, there's still no answer to why this was one of the worst offenses in baseball for 2 straight months. But this stretch that they're on is really something. And you want to know what's fascinating to me about it, Matt?
Yep.
We talk about all the time, you need a star, right? You need this. What's actually been the recipe is that the guys that were kind of the liabilities have all elevated themselves to solidness along with it. It's not like Suzuki's carried him through this stretch. It's not like Bellinger's carried him through this stretch, but Swanson has began to hit. Paredes, my panic meters dropped all the way to a 1.5.
Oh, that's a lot. A lot less than it was.
He looks really comfortable all of a sudden. It's nice to see him lengthen at bats. Of course, we've talked about PCA and Amaya. It's almost been like the answer has been the guys that were kind of the struggles, just getting themselves to the level of the other guys. Because Happ and Suzuki, basically, who've been pretty much their best hitters most of the year, have just kind of stayed. It's been the other guys that have joined the party. Thought Nico Horner had a really good weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, because he would be the one really everyday starter. And I guess Bush that you would be kind of turn your shoulder at during this hot stretch. But everybody else has been great.
Yeah, I mean, Swanson's batting average, believe it or not, first of all, he had a 4-hit game on Sunday. His batting average now, and it was up to 234. It had been sitting in the 2 O's or 2 teens for most of the season.
Yeah. I think the reason that you go full speed ahead this offseason, though, just to follow up on that, is so you don't have to keep making up ground. Now basically 2 straight years.
Of course.
So that's an easy swat of like, oh, well, even despite what happens these last 25.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, shoot, if they really make a run, then, but even still, you just,
of course,
the 61 games, just, it was too much.
Of course.
But this has been nice. And Imanaga, Assad, and Wicks, all solid this week.
Yeah.
This weekend. Bullpen was solid despite some Friday shakiness from a couple guys.
Because you didn't have your guys available.
Jorge Lopez then returned on Saturday after not having pitched since August 23rd. I didn't realize it was that long. Yeah. He now has an 0.76 ERA in 21 games.
Yeah, he looked a little uncomfortable.
Porter Hodge closed on Saturday, and his ERA on the season is down to 1.80 in 31 games. The last 25, you have a recipe here where you can see them continuing their nice play, really even more than that.
More than nice, yeah.
9 of them of the 25 are you would call challenging, and the other 16 are not only favorable, but I would venture to say very favorable.
Yes.
So you keep riding this wave. You check in on the Braves and the Mets. Listen, if the Braves lose tonight, we're at a point entering this week, even despite the horror earlier this year, where you're checking all the scores every night from here on out.
For sure.
Three back on Labor Day. That's only a series. You're always checking the score. I mean, there's nothing like a good baseball team down the stretch playing good baseball. You're right. Proud of their efforts because I didn't think they'd be here. I did not.
Can I hit something that you did at the very beginning of your point?
Yeah.
About they still need to go full steam ahead, because I think it's a really important point. Because I got a lot of heat Friday night on the X app or Twitter, whatever you'd like to call it.
Yeah, I think you might have to draw back on that.
No.
The app's getting worse and worse.
Yeah. By the way, thank you to over 5,000 followers now for me. I made a point about Imanaga, and I said, and I used the wrong word. I said he had been meh lately. What I meant to say, he's just been fine lately.
MEH?
Yes.
Okay.
But what I meant to say is that he's been fine. But the point I'm trying to make circles back to you, is that you have to plan in the off season to be successful, even if the worst outcomes happens. You don't plan you don't plan to exceed projections. And the Imanaga point was just the first part of the season, he was a Cy Young candidate. Since then, he's just been a very solid pitcher. If he's just a very solid pitcher, that's great, but that means you need another pitcher, because then you're with Tyone and Imanaga and Steele, and then that puts Tyone in a position that he's not really good enough. The point I'm trying to make, same goes with the offense. Yes, this offense can be this, but you also have to plan for, hey, we know that there's a downturn in there, and we have to figure out a way to plan to minimize that 2-month stretch to a 1-month stretch so we can compete for the postseason, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. I think make it clear cut. And I think now, even as host of this show now in our third baseball season, we could acknowledge that you are going to have a 30-game stretch that's iffy.
100%.
But 61, not acceptable.
Right, exactly. And I think before we move on, it's just to acknowledge the absolute history of this offensive stretch. I mean,
crazy.
Here's Jesse Rogers. The Cubs have completed an 8-1 road trip after beating the Nats again today. They, all caps, averaged over 10 runs a game on the trip, scoring 95 times, including 14 or more, Matt, not 3, in 4 of the 9.
Oh,
Which I seem to recall. I'm missing one in my head, but that's fine. That's pretty insane. The 99 runs scored over their last 10 is the second most over a 10-game span in 100 years. The last one was 1930.
yeah.
The
There was
last
one
go ahead.
Back on last Saturday in Miami.
That was the 4th.
Yeah.
The last time they won as many as 8 of 9 on a road trip, 2010.
14 years.
14 years since they had a road trip. So that just tells you, because there'll be some people going, well, look who they beat. Well, they've probably had road trips that were just as easy where they weren't able to win 8 of 9. 2 sweeps on the road. We had pretty good baseball teams in 15, 16, 17, and 18 here.
Yes, we did.
And we didn't have an 8-1 road trip. So proud of this team. Really, really thoughtful comments, I think, from you about, this should still not impact things. I think that needs to be fit in there.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
But I'm excited for Monday night.
And could you imagine? And we're doing a show, by the way, on Monday night, win or lose.
Okay,
because it's that important.
Cool.
Hopefully, we could be at almost home in Wrigleyville, and the Cubs are just keep winning.
Well, if they keep winning, I might buy us tickets, dude.
Well, that would be awesome, actually. Yankees next weekend.
If they're, you have my word, and you know as well as anybody, I am a man of my word. If they are playing here, I'll let it out for you right now. If they go 3 out of 4 going into Saturday, we're going to that baseball game.
Yes. Thank you. I'll clear the schedule. Just
clear the schedule.
All right. One more thing. This is a jumbo first segment. Who is the face of this run of success? To me, Sam, there are options.
Let's say it on 3. Let's say it on 3.
Clearly one player.
Let's say it on 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Pete Crow-Armstrong.
That's the same guy.
He's hitting 330 his last 32 games, dude.
I think he's the best player on the team.
He's leading baseball in hitting the last month. It's crazy. What a joy he's been to watch.
He might be
leading baseball and hitting the last 32.
Wait, say that one more time.
He's hitting 330 his last 32 games. I think
that's leading baseball.
He's leading the National League. I'd have to look into it. Bobby Witt. I don't know, but Bobby Witt's gotten a little bit cold. I'd have to let me look. Let me look right now. Actually, let me look.
This is a
I will have
show.
that for you at the end of the show.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Must be a slow internet. All right. Let's get into this. Yep.
My internet is still
got it. Good.
I don't want to take too many
folks. Takes them an hour to get us a stat.
I'll have that for you later in the show.
What is this, 2001?
By the way, we're going to be at Almost Home this Saturday.
You can come talk to us.
Coming up next, I do want to get to some roster moves before we preview Cubs Pirates.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You've heard us talk a lot about it, Matt. And I got to tell you, this was the first weekend of college football.
Yes.
Which was a lot of betting going on FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. And they got a little something different for you right now through September 22nd. And I believe this is the 1st of September we're doing this show.
That's true.
All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket. That starts this weekend. There's pro football going to be on a week from today. Wow. Sunday Ticket, YouTube TV. And with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out of market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. I was out with some friends last night, and we were doing spreads for all the Sunday games. For the football games. We were guessing all the FanDuel spreads. I was within about a half point on most of them. I think I like Carolina in New Orleans to cover week 1. I know that sounds a little crazy. The Bears over under still 8.5. You can jump on that on FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockdown. Download America's number one sportsbook.
Cubs play the Pirates at 6:40. We're back to the 6:40 start times at Wrigley Field on Monday. You can hear every pitch of the Cubs hometown broadcast on Sirius XM by searching Cubs on the SXM app. All right, so the last month, PCA is 8th in average. Aaron Judge, Vlad Jr., O'Neal Cruz, Jake McCarthy, Yordan Alvarez, Yonder Diaz, Xavier Edwards, Bobby Witt Jr., Pete Crow-Armstrong.
Wow.
Okay, there you go. Cubs claimed right-handed reliever Sean Armstrong off waivers from the Cardinals on Friday night. Armstrong was traded at the deadline from the Rays and had been pitching well for the Cardinals after struggling earlier this season in Tampa. He slots into the bullpen right away, actually pitched Sunday, especially after Julian Merriweather's status to return, Sam, this season is very much up in the air. Learned that this weekend. And Daniel Palencia was demoted in the corresponding move. First 2 September call-ups on Sunday were Jordan Wicks, who was activated from the IL. He started Sunday. And Miles Mastrobuoni getting promoted on the position side. I think other notable candidates this month to possibly reach the Cubs, I think there's really just 5. Owen Casey, Kevin Alcantara on the position side, and then Jack Neely, Caleb Killian, and Palencia. All those guys are on the 40-man, except Casey, who needs to be added this offseason anyway to protect him from the Rule 5 draft. And I think there really should be another spot soon because I'm not sure what value Patrick Wisdom is offering, especially if the Cubs are making a run. Now in his 4th year with the Cubs, he's hitting only 195 this season. And against lefty starters, which is supposed to be his thing, he's even worse. So 195 on the year, 164 against lefty starters. So maybe there's another opening soon, Sam.
There should be.
Right?
The pitches that he missed today are the exact reason he's in the lineup, and he didn't do anything with them. I like your point, too, about year 4. I think that's a good point. Like,
yeah,
we've seen that. We've just seen this movie a lot. We know what he is, and there's other guys that deserve an opportunity now.
Yeah. I wasn't that irritated about the Mastro call-up Sunday.
Yeah.
The only thing is, if the Cubs wait till the iCubs are done, well, that's not for another 3 weeks.
Right.
So then Casey and Alcantara are only up for literally 6 games. I mean, I guess 6 is more than 0, but what does that really do?
No, I think that, I think the Mastro call-up, I like it because they need, if PCA plays every day, which of course he's going to now, the pinch runner off the bench late is really valuable.
I think it's great.
And Mastro gives you that. Matt Shaw's banged up right now. He hasn't played in a bit ever since he made that throw. I just wonder, and I have no idea. If he didn't get hurt, would they let him come in for Wisdom? You know what I mean? And play. Would they do that? I don't know the answer to that, but it would be nice too, because it's like these young guys, whether it's Casey, Alcantara, Shaw, they're going to get a taste of like important baseball. And we saw PCA did that last year. It didn't go well, but he's grown from it.
Yeah, it's true.
And now he's the best player on the team
by a lot right now. Yeah, the other thing I would add, the other thing about Mastro, which I'm not irritated, like he doesn't need to do anything beyond the pinch run.
And come in late in the middle infield if needed.
Yeah, or like today, he comes in during a blowout.
Right.
It's not a big deal.
Right.
So, all right, well, let's preview Cubs Pirates then. Because Wick started Sunday, these matchups are looking even better on the pitching side for the Cubs. And let's preview those 3 games with the Buccos next. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Well, whether it's a Cubs game, which Sam is now promoting to go to possibly on Saturday, so maybe we wait till closer to first pitch and buy Cubs-Yankees tickets with Game Time, because we know that prices actually go down the closer you get to first pitch. And right now, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time clicking through hundreds or sometimes thousands of tickets. You can also get a view from your seat. So even a last-minute buy, let's say at 1:05 on Saturday, we could say, okay, hey, that's in section 202. What does that look like? Just get a little preview there. It just gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Just completely takes all the guesswork out of it. And you just know what to expect before you actually plant yourself in that seat. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. New tagline from them. What time is it?
Game time.
Cubs begin a 3-game series with the Pirates at 6:40 Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday also at 6:40. Cubs play the second latest game.
I'm upset about this.
Around baseball on Labor Day on Monday, which is a surprise to me. And yeah, I guess I'm a little down about it too. Tyone and Jones, Steele and Skeens, and then unnamed starters for Wednesday. Domingo Germán might go for the Pirates. He got shelled against the Cubs last time out of the pen. Kyle Hendricks might go Wednesday for the Northsiders, but the Cubs could also do an opener before going to Hendricks, or
Yes.
maybe the reverse. Hendricks one time through, then to the pen. Or Imanaga could start on regular rest, but I have to say it'd be pretty sweet if he faced the Yankees on Friday. What's your first feelings on this series?
My first feelings is I think it's ridiculous we have to face Skeens for a fourth time.
It's a lot.
It's just, but that's this schedule.
Schedule is quirky.
When you play Team X team, which has literally been the whole series with the Pirates. 4 series against the Pirates all came. The first 2 series came within 7 days of each other.
Pattern, right?
And the second, it makes it kind of ridiculous. You just see the same pitchers, and I just think that's just, I just don't think that that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Imanaga will face the Yankees. I bet the Yankees are significantly worse against left-handed pitching.
Well, then that should be a done deal then.
Significantly. Pittsburgh is better against left-handed pitching, which is why I think you saw Wicks, just real quick, because it's such an emotional show. Thought Wicks looked pretty good today. We should probably throw that in there.
Yeah, especially after bases loaded, no outs in the second.
Yeah, he did miss many bats. But with Wicks, I know exactly the type of guy he is. With him, it's just health. I just want to see him out there for a full year. But he looked good today. Changeup at times was getting whiffs, at times not. As far as the Pirates go, I mean, it's 4 of the same guys: Tyone, Steele, Skeens, and Jones. And then we'll see what happens in that last game. I like your idea. I think they might start an opener and then go to Hendricks or do something like that. You got to find a way to win this series. I don't expect you to sweep them again. It's pretty hard to sweep a team twice in 7 days.
I agree with that. 2 out of 3 is the goal.
Yeah. The Cubs have seen Jared Jones really well all 3 times they faced him. So hopefully they can keep that going. And I don't know. Can we do a little on-air weather report? Because the Cubs haven't gotten good hitting weather at Wrigley, and it looks like it's going to continue.
Why? What does it look like?
Monday is supposed to be chilly, 73. A low of 57 with the wind blowing in. Friday, not high temperatures really all week. Thursday is really the highest day. And I don't believe the Cubs have a game that day.
Well, yeah, they have an off day.
So
it's going to be 70s all week?
Yeah, 73 high on Monday, but they play at night. So it's going to be in the 50s, I think, Monday and Tuesday for first pitch.
Or probably low 60s, yeah.
It's just, the offense seems like it's really gotten driven on the road. Let's bring that home with us a little bit,
please,
and see what we could do against and I've gotten a little bit of flack on this from some friends that listen to the show, but I'm going to do it anyway. Against Jones and schemes.
I think it's funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boy, am I tired of facing this guy. Tired of hearing about him.
Well,
Just
yeah,
tired
no,
of it.
it's fatiguing.
It's fatiguing. Hope they score 8 against them.
So last thing I want to go over, no way they cut ties with Hendricks over the last 25 games, right? It'd be bad optics.
I don't think so, no.
I don't think you need to.
No, I don't think. I think that'd be a little drastic. He was pretty good before his bad start against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary.
I wouldn't run him out there against New York.
Well, they're not. I don't think they're planning.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that route.
Well, I wouldn't face. You're right. Don't let him face the Yankees, Dodgers, or Phillies.
Yeah,
or Rockies in Colorado.
Yeah, I'd like to see him not face Judge all weekend.
Right. Correct.
So
we might see Javier Assad Saturday then.
Yeah, let's think about it. So Tyone Monday, Steele Tuesday. Maybe you go like a Smiley to Hendricks to Smiley thing. What
Imanaga Assad? Yeah,
Imanaga Assad. I don't know.
Unless they go 2 straight lefties and have Wick Saturday, Assad Sunday, with a little extra rest.
They'll probably give us Wicks a full 7,
right?
With where he's been.
So,
all right. And just to clarify, on Saturday, we're meeting and we're talking with people. We're not live doing a show.
That's true. No live show.
Yeah, because I don't want people.
It's purely a hangout.
It's a hangout, right? We're gonna,
right.
Maybe I'll buy you a little food. If you come say hello.
Absolutely. Almost Home's got some great deals on Saturdays. There'll be college football playing. Please swing by before first pitch. If you're not even going to the game, you're just in the area, please swing by.
Illinois plays Kansas Saturday night.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. Yeah, Iowa 40-0 win.
I think Illinois might lose that game by 2 touchdowns.
You give us 20 to 30 minutes. We'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube. Smash the like button for the algorithm or leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. All right, we'll be back for Cubs Pirates. He's Sam Holber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Go Cubs.